That morning, I stood in front of the mirror just like I always do, but something felt different. The sunlight came through the window in a way that made me pause. The few silver strands I used to tuck away, they suddenly looked brighter than ever. The skin around my eyes had softened, and the woman looking back at me, she wasn't the same young girl I once knew. She was someone else now, someone who had lived, who had loved, who had weathered many seasons of life. I touched my cheek gently, not out of sadness, not even fear, just with a quiet ache in my heart, because in that moment I realized I'm 55. Maybe you've had that moment too, when a photo catches you off guard, when your favorite dress doesn't quite fit the same, or when someone calls you ma'am or missus, and it lands heavier than you expected. It's not that we've stopped being beautiful. It's that we haven't yet learned how to see the new kind of beauty that time has given us. At this age, many women avoid the mirror. But I believe that same mirror can become your friend again, the place where you start rebuilding your relationship with yourself, gently and honestly. If you're watching this video, hit that like button, so I know you're walking this journey with me. The journey of rediscovering confidence, grace, and your own kind of beauty after 50. And don't forget to subscribe to Bold After 50, where we celebrate style, confidence, and the quiet strength of women who know they deserve to feel beautiful, no matter the number on their birthday cake. Because the moment you dare to truly look at yourself again, that's the moment beauty truly begins. And that, my friend, is where our story, yours and mine, and the story of 55 begins. When your body changes, your style should too. Have you ever slipped into a dress that once made you feel stunning at 35, only to look in the mirror and realize it just doesn't feel like you anymore? I've been there. One afternoon, I pulled out a red silk dress from the back of my closet, the one I wore to launch my very first collection nearly 20 years ago. Back then, I had a trim waist, defined shoulders, and that spark in my eyes that only youth carries. The dress hugged every curve in the right way, and each step I took felt alive with the rhythm of confidence, excitement, and that thrilling belief that I was in my prime. But 5, 10, 20 years passed. The dress is still there, but my body has changed. My shoulders are softer now, my waist gentler, and my silhouette tells a new story. As I looked at myself in the mirror, I smiled, not with regret, but with understanding. Because time doesn't take beauty away. It simply teaches it a new language. When the body speaks, fashion should listen. Women are taught to fight aging with creams, diets, and clothes that promise youth. But as a designer, I've learned something different. We shouldn't fight our age, we should listen to it. At 50, 60, our bodies have their own wisdom. They ask for fabrics that breathe, materials that caress the skin instead of clinging to it. They want silhouettes that move with us, not against us. They crave space, softness, and above all, respect. I once had a client, her name was Margaret, 59, a retired professor. She came into my studio, smiling shyly. "I just don't know what to wear anymore," she said. "Anything too young feels ridiculous, and anything for older women looks so dull." I looked at her for a moment and said, "You don't need to dress to look younger, Margaret. You just need to dress to feel alive again." We chose a soft beige linen cotton dress with an easy cut and wooden buttons along the front. When she put it on, something shifted, not her figure, but her energy. The light in her eyes came back. Because sometimes the right outfit doesn't make you look younger. It simply makes you look like yourself again. Age-positive fashion, not to hide, not to chase, but to harmonize. When we're young, we dress to express. In midlife, we dress to prove. But once we truly know ourselves, we dress to be at peace. I call it age-positive fashion. It's not about hiding the years or trying to rewind them. It's about honoring the quiet grace that time has given us. Like fine wine or aged oak, some things only become beautiful once they've absorbed enough life. Many women fear their wrinkles. But do you know what I see? Wrinkles are where the light lingers longest. And good fashion, the kind that fits your soul, helps that light shine in the most beautiful way. At 55, I gravitate towards soft colors: ivory, beige, olive, light brown, gentle blues. They don't wash me out, they illuminate me, the way the sun does in late afternoon, warm and kind. I prefer wide-leg pants over tight jeans, blouses that kiss the waist instead of gripping it, and fabrics that move with a quiet elegance. Every detail is intentional, subtle, refined, leaving space for my body to simply be itself. True style after 50 is about honesty. When I was younger, I designed to impress: bold cuts, loud colors, striking patterns. But the older I get, the more I believe. The most beautiful style doesn't shout. After 50, a woman has nothing left to prove. Every line, every curve, every smile tells her story. Style isn't about what fits the trend, it's about what fits you. I often tell my students, if you have to stare at the mirror too long to decide if it looks good, it doesn't. The right outfit feels like a breath of air. You slip it on, take a deep inhale, exhale, and feel light. Effortless but elegant. Unspoken yet unmistakable. That's quiet sophistication. Dress to honor your present, not to chase your past. A friend once told me, I wish I could dress like I did at 30. I smiled and said, I just want to dress so well that 30-year-olds look at me and think, I hope I look like her someday. When you honor your body as it is today, you're teaching others how to honor their own time too. We're not racing against time anymore. We're walking with it, with the calm grace of women who know their worth. And that's the real secret of style after 50. It's not about looking younger. It's about looking real and beautiful in that truth. When I see that old red dress now, I still keep it as a memory, not a standard. These days, I reach for softer tones, gentler cuts, and fabrics that make me want to touch my own skin. I don't dress to be noticed anymore. I dress to feel authentic. A 55-year-old woman who knows youth was never in the body. It's always been in the confidence and the peace in her eyes. If you're still here, listening, tap like, so I know you're walking this journey too. The journey of dressing for the present, not the past. And don't forget to subscribe to Bold After 50, where we share stories, style secrets, and quiet truths about confidence and beauty, not to hold on to youth, but to shine fully right where we are. Because sometimes the journey back to yourself starts with something as simple as the right shirt that finally feels like you. Finding yourself again through a simple blouse. Sometimes you don't need to change your whole life. Just find one blouse that makes you want to linger in front of the mirror a little longer. I remember that day clearly, a warm afternoon in late May. The air in my little studio in Austin was heavy, but a soft breeze drifted through the open window. That's when Susan, 58, walked in. She was new, petite, with slightly rounded shoulders, and a soft voice like she was afraid of taking up too much space. She smiled politely and said, I have a class reunion coming up, and I have no idea what to wear. For years, I've just worn dark colors. It's easier not to think about it. That phrase, easier not to think about it, stayed with me. Because when a woman stops thinking about what she wears, it's often a sign she's lost touch with herself. I looked at her warm tan skin, a few silver strands in her hair, kind eyes. I didn't see someone past her youth. I saw someone who had gone far enough in life to know what truly matters. I handed her a soft cream blouse, flowy cotton silk blend, gentle V-neck, 3/4 sleeves. She hesitated. White makes me look washed out, she said. I smiled. Maybe your skin isn't dull, maybe it just hasn't met the right light yet. When she slipped that blouse on, something changed. The air in the room seemed to slow. It wasn't the blouse itself, it was simple, clean, elegant. But when Susan looked at herself in the mirror, her eyes softened and then they lit up. I saw that exact moment, the one when a woman realizes she can still be beautiful without needing to look like anyone else. She brushed her hand over the fabric and whispered, It's been a long time since I actually liked what I see. The blouse, more than fabric, it's a mirror. Since that day, I've believed every woman has one perfect blouse waiting for her. Not the most expensive one, not the one that follows the latest trend, but the one that helps her see herself again. The right blouse reminds you that you were once radiant, confident, joyful, and that you still are. It can pull you out of that quiet gray space where you stopped caring. I've seen it happen again and again. A woman straightens her posture, touches her shoulder lightly, smiles at her reflection. That's not vanity. That's revival. When your outfit feels right, your body agrees. Fashion isn't a competition of body shapes, it's the art of feeling. If what you're wearing makes you hold your breath, or afraid to move, it's your body saying no. But if you put something on and your shoulders relax, your breathing evens out, your eyes soften, that's your body saying thank you. For women over 50, I always say, choose fabrics that breathe: silk, linen, tencel. Your skin deserves kindness, not constraint. Choose warm, light tones: ivory, sand, rose, clay, olive, dove gray. These hues don't drain you, they reflect the warmth of your skin and your spirit. And choose shapes that give you room: gentle drapes, soft structure, a neckline that flatters, small wooden buttons, or a seam that follows your shoulders gracefully. When it's right, you'll feel it. Your shoulders lift. Your smile softens. Your eyes sparkle in a way that says, "There I am." Personal style doesn't come from fashion, it comes from feeling. One of my students once asked me, "Linda, what does it mean to have personal style? I'm 55, is it too late for that?" And I told her, style doesn't live in your clothes, it lives in your feelings. When you choose a blouse simply because you love how it feels on your skin, that's style. When you wear earrings just because they make you feel softer, that's style. Style isn't something you learn. It's something you remember. Your 50s and 60s are the perfect time to refine your taste, to let go of what doesn't feel like you, and hold on to what brings you ease and joy. Don't dress to look younger. Don't dress to avoid looking old. Dress like you breathe, naturally, gently, truthfully. Dressing beautifully is an act of self-love. I've always believed that dressing well isn't about impressing others. It's a daily ritual of respect for yourself. Each morning when you pick a fresh blouse, press it, and take a moment to look in the mirror, you're really saying to yourself, I still matter, I still deserve care. No designer label required. No drama, just one right blouse and a moment to recognize the woman in the mirror, who's weathered every season and still stands graceful and grounded. When you find yourself, everything else starts to change. A few days later, Susan sent me a message. She wrote, "At the reunion, no one said I looked younger, but everyone said I looked radiant. And honestly, it's the first time in years I've felt like myself." I smiled as I read it, because that's all I ever want, for women to rediscover their own light through something as simple as fabric. If you're still listening, I want you to try something tomorrow. When you pick your outfit, don't ask, does this hide my belly? Or does this make me look younger? Instead, ask, do I want to touch this fabric? Can I breathe in it? Do I feel like looking at myself a little longer when I wear it? If the answer is yes, congratulations. You've just found your blouse. If this story spoke to you, tap like so I know you're walking this journey too. And don't forget to subscribe to Bold After 50, where we talk about style, confidence, and how clothing can heal, not by helping us hold on to youth, but by helping us shine exactly as we are. Because sometimes the journey back to yourself begins with something as simple as the right blouse, learning to listen to your body and your own style. When we're young, we dress to be seen. But when we've lived long enough, we dress to feel. After more than 20 years as a designer, I've learned one thing for sure. Women over 50 don't need more clothes, they just need a deeper understanding of their own bodies. Because our bodies change, gently but surely. The skin softens. The shoulders round a little. The waistline shifts. Sometimes the back curves ever so slightly, quiet traces of a life fully lived. And if you listen carefully, your body will tell you exactly what it needs to feel beautiful, comfortable, and confident again. The trouble is, too many women have stopped listening. They squeeze into the dresses they wore at 30, or force themselves into tight tops because someone said, "Fitted makes you look younger." Then they look in the mirror, feel disconnected, and think, "I guess I'm just old now." But no, you're not old. You're just wearing clothes that don't speak your body's language anymore. The beauty of a body that tells stories. I remember a client, Margaret, 62. She used to teach literature, had a calm voice and a small frame. When she came into my studio, she sighed. "Nothing fits right anymore. Everything feels wrong, too big, too short, too something. I just want to turn off the light when I look in the mirror." I asked her gently, "Have you ever really looked at yourself not to judge but just to see?" She laughed a little and said, "No, not really." So I asked her to stand tall, place a hand over her chest, and close her eyes. "Take a deep breath. Now tell me what part of your body still feels comfortable, like home." After a pause, she said softly, "My shoulders. They've always been kind to me, a little sloped but soft." I smiled. "Then that's where we'll start." I designed a soft linen boat neck top that gently framed her collarbones. When she put it on, she smiled, not politely, but truly smiled for the first time in years. Her body hadn't changed. But the way she looked at herself had. Listening is the key to dressing right. When you really listen to your body, it tells you things. If your neck feels short, it's asking for a soft V-neck, not a high collar. If your shoulders slope, they need thoughtful seams, not padding to hide them. If your belly has softened, it needs flow and ease, not compression and denial. Your body doesn't need to be hidden. It just wants to be understood and respected. I've seen women transform completely just by changing one neckline. A round face glows under a gentle V. A short neck looks longer with an open collar. Slim shoulders come alive under a soft puff sleeve. At this age, fashion isn't about showing off anymore. It's a conversation between your body and your spirit. Your personal style isn't learned, it's remembered. People often ask me, "Linda, how do I find my style?" And I always tell them style isn't something you learn. It's something you remember. Your style is the feeling that makes you smile when you put something on, even if no one else notices. Maybe you love the crisp coolness of linen on your skin. Maybe you adore the faint rustle of silk when you move. Or maybe you just feel right in that old beige scarf you've had for years. That's your style. Because style isn't about trends, it's about connection. And honestly, your 50s and 60s are the best time to rediscover that. You've stopped chasing what others think looks good. You finally get to ask, what feels good for me? Signs you're wearing what's right. There are little clues your body gives you. When you're dressed right, you stop fidgeting with your hair. You forget what you're wearing because it feels so natural. People don't tell you that you look young. They tell you that you look radiant. And most importantly, you feel like walking out the door with your head high. That's what real style does. It doesn't cover you up. It lifts you up. From style to presence. Style is what you choose. Presence is how you carry it. A simple white linen shirt can look ordinary unless you wear it with quiet confidence. When you know, "This feels right on me," that shirt becomes your statement. I once met a woman in her 60s, gray dress, low bun, flat shoes. No flashy jewelry, no bright colors. But when she entered the room, everyone noticed. Not because she was trying to stand out, but because she carried the calm of someone who truly knows herself. That's what it means to live your style. Listening to yourself, the real secret to beauty. If you're in your 50s or 60s and feel like nothing looks good anymore, start small. Stand in front of the mirror in the morning and look at your body like an old friend. Choose one piece that makes you breathe easier, not one that forces you to look better. And say to yourself, "Today, I'm dressing to feel like me." Fashion can't save anyone, but it can heal. Because the moment you start to love this body, with all its lines, its curves, its stories, you begin to love your whole life again. If this message resonates with you, tap like so I know you're here on this journey too. And subscribe to Bold After 50, where I share more than just how to dress. I share how to love yourself through the way you dress. Because once you learn to listen to your body and rediscover your own style, the next step is to bring it into the world, not just through clothes, but through the way you show up. Grace, the accessory that never goes out of style. At some point in life, you realize something beautiful. What makes people turn their heads isn't the dress you're wearing, but the way you move in it. I've always believed there's a kind of beauty that can't be bought or copied. It's the quiet light that shines from a woman who truly knows her worth. Most people think grace is about posture, speech, or how well you dress. But to me, grace is energy. It's the calm, grounded presence you carry with you when you step out into the world. It's peace, confidence, and fullness, all wrapped up in a gentle glow. When you're at peace, you glow differently. I've worked with hundreds of women over 50, business leaders, artists, teachers, and homemakers. And the ones I remember most aren't the best dressed or the most glamorous. They're the ones who radiate peace. There was Diane, 56, who once came into my studio. No makeup, her hair tied in a soft bun, a beige linen top, old sandals. And yet, when she smiled, the whole room softened. No one saw the lines by her eyes, they saw her calm. She said quietly, "I used to chase every trend until I realized the most beautiful thing at my age is learning to breathe slower." And she was right. That is grace, not hiding your age, not adding more sparkle, just showing up as yourself, fully, peacefully, honestly. Grace isn't born, it's built. No one is born graceful. Grace is something we earn by learning to be kind to ourselves. It grows from years of forgiving our mistakes, standing tall after heartbreak, and learning not to shrink just because the world is loud. It starts with posture. A woman doesn't have to be tall or thin, but if her shoulders are open, her chin lifted, her back straight, she already shines. Then, it's in the eyes of a woman whose weathered storms don't need to be sharp, just deep. They have that softness of someone who knows gratitude. And finally, the smile. There's no cosmetic in the world that can compete with a genuine smile. The kind that says, "I've been hurt, but I've healed." The kind that says, "I may not be perfect, but I'm enough." Style and grace always walk hand in hand. Fashion is the frame, but grace is the picture. You can wear the most flattering outfit, but without grace, it's just clothes. And you can wear something simple and still be unforgettable if grace walks beside you. I once met a woman in her 60s at a fashion exhibition. She wore white pants, a gray linen shirt, flat shoes, no jewelry, no lipstick. But every movement she made was slow, steady, and full of presence. When she looked at someone, she really looked. And everyone noticed her not because she looked young, but because she looked complete. That's what I call the beauty of a woman who has made peace with herself. She doesn't fight for attention. She doesn't need validation. She simply is. And that's what makes her stand out. 3 simple habits to nurture your grace. You don't have to do anything grand to become more graceful. Start small, 3 gentle habits you can practice every day. 1. Begin your morning with posture. Stand in front of the mirror, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders, loosen your neck, feel the weight of your body grounding you. That's not just posture, that's presence. 2. Speak slower, smile more. At this age, you no longer need to impress anyone. The calm in your voice and the warmth in your eyes, that's your power now. 3. Wear clothes your body can breathe in. When you feel comfortable, your energy softens. That's how grace grows, not through makeup or diamonds, but through the feeling that you're living in harmony with yourself. Grace, the accessory no one can steal. I often tell my students, fashion can go out of style, your body can change, but grace, if you keep it, will stay with you forever. Grace costs nothing, it's built from presence. When you drink your morning tea, put down your phone. When you walk, let the wind touch your hair. When you talk to someone, look into their eyes. Every time you live a moment fully, you're putting on an invisible jewel, one that no one else can ever copy. 50, the age when grace truly blooms. Your 20s are about beauty, your 30s about ambition, but your 50s and beyond, they're about grace. At this stage, you no longer need to prove anything. You know what matters. You dress for comfort. You speak with kindness. You live slowly enough to feel every breath. That's true luxury, the kind that lives in your spirit. If this speaks to you, tap like on this video and subscribe to Bold After 50, where I share how to dress not just beautifully, but beautifully from the inside out. Because when you're graceful on the inside, everything you touch begins to shine naturally, when beauty is no longer measured by age. This afternoon, as I closed my sketchbook, I looked down at the unfinished drawings scattered across my desk. Soft lines, gentle colors, flowing silhouettes. Each design tells a story. And lately, I've realized something simple yet profound. Every story leads back to one truth. That beauty after 50 isn't about chasing youth. It's about coming home to yourself. Somewhere along the way, between raising kids, working, caring for everyone else, we forget about someone very important, the woman inside us. And then one day, when life finally slows down enough for us to listen, she whispers softly, "I never left. I was just waiting for you to remember me." At 55, 60, 70, the mirror is no longer the enemy. It's your truest friend. It reflects not your flaws, but your wisdom, your calm, and your quiet pride. The silver in your hair, the lines around your eyes, the graceful curve of your body, they're not signs of fading. They're proof of a life well lived. Fashion, to me, has never just been about clothes. It's about emotion. It's about that little spark you feel when you open your closet and pick something that makes you feel alive again. It's that moment when you catch your reflection and smile because your outfit seems to say, "This is me, confident, radiant, and beautifully my own." So the next time you look in the mirror, smile, not because you miss your younger self, but because you finally recognize the woman staring back. The woman your younger self once dreamed of becoming. And that is real power. If this video touched something in your heart, hit like not for me, but for you. For the woman who's still shining, still growing, still bold after 50. And don't forget to subscribe to Bold After 50, where we celebrate timeless beauty, lasting confidence, and the art of living with grace and style. Because no matter what your age, you're not getting older, you're becoming magnificent.